Good evening and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Asheville. I am Dr. Les, the music director here, and I'm overwhelmed to see so many people here. Would you please take a moment to set your phones to silencio? Because your ringtone may not be in the same key as some of the pieces we're singing. I want to thank our choir because they've worked so hard to prepare the music for tonight. They have a very demanding director who they have to tolerate. And just a side note, we've included in the program the words to a couple of pieces we're doing because in one case they go by really fast and in the other case it's a lot. So that's just if you want to read and follow along. I also want to recognize and thank Morgan Cobb, who is our percussionist. We can't do it without him. And also, you know what? You get to participate in this concert. You get to sing 2 times. So I hope you warmed up your voices. One thing, if you feel inclined to applaud, please wait until the end, until after we've sung African Noel, so we can kind of just keep things moving. So if you will rise in body or spirit as you are able, and we're going to sing hymn 245, Joy to the World, verses 1 and 2. all three verses of 231.
Angels Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good evening. It is so wonderful to be here. with all of you tonight, whether you're gathered with us here in the sanctuary or whether you're joining us from home or far away. We are one community, and it is amazing to be together. Now, some of you were here this morning when we had our family service. That was a beautiful time. And we had a cookie celebration afterwards. Tonight, we have our candlelight time, and there's no social gathering after, but we are so glad to be together. And so I want to thank you all for being here tonight with us, and let us begin. Our invocation tonight was written by Reverend Gretchen Haley, and it's called, "We Have an Old Story to Tell." Calling all who cannot wait any longer for joy, for hope, and for some good news, even a little. The time has come. The waiting is over. Here in this time, we have an old story to tell, one that has been shared over and over for thousands of years, but still, somehow it remains unheard, still radical and risky, breaking through into these days of darkness and cold, of division and fear, interrupting the perpetual stories of violence and loss and the feelings of powerlessness. It breaks into the errands and errors of our everyday. And Christmas arrives not only to comfort, but to awaken, to reassure, and to also stir us up as a new life, a life of peace and justice and courageous love struggling to be born. Wondering if we yet will be the ones who make room in our lives and in our world for the refugee, the poor, the plain and messy sweetness of a newborn baby. If we will take the journey to Bethlehem, if we will be changed by the presence of a love that meets us where we are in the fields, wherever we lay. And it calls us forth into a new journey, a braver and bolder life, believing that it is not too late for strong and gentle people to win, for compassion and truth to have the final say, for the bright light of hope to shine through even on the darkest night. So, come, let us celebrate the good news of Christmas, and let us worship together. Will you take a moment to rise to the peak of your physical or spiritual stature, and we will sing together our first carol, "O Come All Ye Faithful." This is a time for the child in all of us, and it gives me an opportunity to share a beautiful poem from one of my very favorite authors. How many of you are familiar with Neil Gaiman? Anyone? Well, this is Neil Gaiman's story poem. It's called What You Need to Be Warm, a poem of welcome. And since tonight, this story that we're celebrating is one of immigrants, refugees, the poor and the lost, the people who are found, I hope you will find this appropriate. And so we're going to begin here with this. What you need to be warm. A baked potato of a winter's night to wrap your hands around or burn your mouth. A blanket knitted by your mother's cunning fingers or your grandmother's. A smile, a touch, trust as you walk in from the snow or return to it. The tips of your ears pricked pink and frozen. The tink, tink, tink of iron radiators waking in an old house to surface from dreams in a bed, burrowed beneath blankets or comforters. The change of state from cold to warm is all that matters, and you think just one more minute snuggled here before you face the chill. Just one. Places we slept as children, they warm us in the memory. We travel to an inside from an outside, to the orange flames of the fireplace or the wood burning in the stove. Breath ice on the inside of windows to be scratched off with a fingernail and melted with a whole hand. Frost on the ground that stays in the shadows waiting for us. Now, wear a scarf, wear a coat, wear a sweater, wear socks, wear thick gloves. We're a little ahead, so I'll point, okay, when it's time to go. But now is where we are. We are in the right place now. An infant as she sleeps between us, a tumble of dogs, a kindle of cats and kittens. Come inside. You're safe now. A kettle boiling on the stove. Your family or friends are there. They smile. Cocoa or chocolate, tea or coffee, soup or toddy. You know what you need. A heat exchange, they give it to you. You take the mug and start to thaw. While outside, for some of us, the journey began as we walked away from our grandparents' houses, away from the places that we knew as children. Changes of state and state and state, to stumble across a stony desert or to brave the deep waters. While food and friends, home, a bed, even a blanket become just memories. Sometimes it only takes a stranger in a dark place to hold out a badly knitted scarf, to offer a kind word. To say, we have the right to be here, to make us warm in the coldest season. You have the right to be here. Here ends the story.
If you would please rise as you're willing and able for our second carol, Jingle Bells.
Oh,
A Christmas Prayer with 7 Words by Rebecca Parker. We remember the Magi, observers of stars, evidence-based seekers who found their way to kneel before a baby. May we, too, kneel before life's intricate mysteries, following the path of science-based searchers for truth. We remember Mary, birth mother of a revolutionary prophet, the fetus in her womb a surprise, her choice a decision to magnify her hope, the birth difficult, attended by a beautiful diversity of animals and a ragtag gathering of vulnerable people. May we too kneel at the cradle of Earth's dreams for peace and dedicate ourselves to revolutionary love. We remember Joseph, unexpectant father, who embraced the baby as his own, believing that every child has a God-given entitlement to love and care. May we too stand by the women and children of this world when patriarchal privilege and power threaten their freedom and put their well-being at risk. We remember the angels singing in a cold night to the overtaxed poor, promising peace and goodwill to all. May we echo their song in acts of solidarity and justice for all souls, refugee souls, green souls, disabled souls, Black souls, young souls, transgendered souls. May we join the bold, holy movement to bring heaven to earth. May the morning star brighten our hope for a new day, and may our laughter strengthen all our prayers. Amen. And now, if you would please rise as you're willing and able for our third carol, People Look East.
So I get to read to you one of my very favorite Christmas stories, and this is actually written as a letter, so you'll follow along, and I'll tell you, let's see, when was it written, because the date actually matters, 1963. It begins like this. It's addressed to the Chief of Naval Operations in Washington, D.C. Dear Admiral, last year at Christmas time, my wife, our 3 boys, and I were in France on our way from Paris to Nice in a rented car. For 5 wretched days, everything had gone wrong. On Christmas Eve, when we checked into our hotel in Nice, there was no Christmas spirit in our hearts. It was raining and cold when we went out to eat. We found a drab little restaurant shoddily decorated for the holiday. Only 5 tables were occupied. There were 2 German couples, 2 French families, and an American sailor. Now, while eating, he was writing a letter. My wife ordered our meal in French. The waiter brought us the wrong thing. I scolded my wife for being stupid. Then at the table with the French family on our left, the father slapped one of his children for some minor infraction, and the boy began to cry. These were different days. On our right, the German wife began berating her husband. All of us were interrupted by an unpleasant blast of cold air. Through the front door came an old flower woman. She wore a dripping, tattered overcoat and shuffled in on wet, run-down shoes, and she went from one table to the other. "Flowers, monsieur, only 1 franc." No one bought any. Wearily, she sat down at a table between the sailor and us, and to the waiter she said, "A bowl of soup. I haven't sold a flower all afternoon." To the piano player she said hoarsely, "Can you imagine Joseph soup on Christmas Eve?" He pointed to his empty tipping plate. The young sailor finished his meal and got up. Putting on his coat, he walked over to the flower woman's table. "Happy Christmas," he said, smiling and picking out 2 corsages. "How much are they?" 2 francs, monsieur." Pressing one of the small corsages flat, he put it into the letter he had written, then handed a woman a 20-franc note. "I don't have change, monsieur," she said. "I'll get some from the waiter." "No, ma'am," said the sailor, leaning over and kissing her cheek. "This is my Christmas present to you." Then he came to our table, holding the other corsage in front of him. "Sir," he said to me, "may I have permission to present these flowers to your beautiful daughter?" In one quick motion, he gave my wife the corsage, wished us a Merry Christmas, and departed. Everyone had stopped eating. Everyone had been watching the sailor. A few seconds later, Christmas exploded through the restaurant, almost like a bomb. The old flower woman jumped up, waving the 20-franc note, shouted to the piano player, "Joseph, my Christmas present, and you shall have half, so you shall feast too." And the piano player began to belt out Good King Wenceslas. My wife waved her corsage in time to the music. She appeared 20 years younger. She began to sing, and our 3 sons joined her, bellowing with enthusiasm. "Gut, gut," shouted the Germans, and they began to sing in German. And the waiter embraced the flower woman, and waving their arms, they sang in French. The Frenchman who had slapped the boy beat rhythm with his fork against a glass. The lad, now on his lap, sang in a youthful soprano. A few hours earlier, 18 persons had been spending a miserable evening. It ended up being the happiest, the very best Christmas Eve they had ever experienced. This, Admiral, is what I am writing to you about. As the top man in the Navy, you should know about the very special gift that the U.S. Navy gave to my family, to me, and the other people in that French restaurant. Because your young sailor had Christmas spirit in his soul, he released the love and joy that had been smothered within us by anger and disappointment. He gave us Christmas. So thank you, sir, and Merry Christmas. And now we are probably going to have an offertory. There was some question about it. Actually, we weren't sure if we were going to do a musical reflection or an offertory, but because of the miracle of Christmas and the many people who volunteered tonight to be ushers, including John and others, can we take a moment to thank all who just volunteered to do things? We have returned this to what we intended, which is the opportunity to share generosity. You probably know that this congregation exists only by the love and service and generosity of the people who come here and make it so. And so with great joy in our hearts tonight, we are going to pass the plate and hear a gift of music. And we thank you so much for everything you share with us, your time, your talent, your treasure.
There is hope.
When you clear away the accretions, tonight reveals an ancient secret. We are gathered because a child was born. It is the simplest and most profound of any act of human hope, giving birth to a new person, holding our breath and waiting to see what will become of this new life. How will the world change? It's not hard to imagine people of goodwill and faith leaning into such a moment. Shepherds or cabbies daring to peek, wise people stopping everything to wonder, angels or God's very self waiting with bated breath. What comes next? It is the very essence of our Unitarian Universalist heritage, our deep and abiding faith in the worth and dignity of every person. Throughout time, we have told and retold and reshaped and vilified and glorified and rejected and longed to hear again the story of a baby born in Bethlehem, a baby who would change the world. As people of the story, we dig out our heart's great treasure, this deep hope, and we place it, sometimes gently, sometimes carelessly, sometimes desperately, on that babe of old. You know, that baby was special. That baby was blessed and holy and imbued with something amazing. Oh, such a story. A special, special child is born. All the world lies waiting. Wonders never cease. For Unitarian Universalists, the power of that story is not in its miracles. Our whole lives, sexuality, education programs, and science, and the considered use of reason make us reject the notion of a virgin mother. Any unusual astronomical light was probably not related directly to the birth of anyone on earth that evening. That's our guess. Angelically singing choirs may exist, but we expect them here on earth, mostly here in this sanctuary right here. No, it isn't the extraordinary that draws us to the story. It is in its most common quality that a child, even one born in desperate circumstances and with odds set against them, any child may change the world. And not just a child, a carpenter, an adult, someone willing to risk everything to speak a word of truth to power or a word of love to a suffering world. So remember, you may change the world. On Christmas Eve, our family eats rice and beans for our meal. Now, this is a very simple staple dish for the majority of the world, but more than that, what it is a connection and a reminder for us in a season that can sometimes seem like a celebration of excess, that we are intimately intertwined with the full round of humankind. I mean, today, we may be blessed with enough. Tomorrow might be different. Regardless, we want to remember that we are all in this together, now more so than ever, perhaps. Because after all, our faith also calls us to seek a world of justice, a world of equity and compassion. I mean, how can we do that if we don't have any spiritual practices which enlarge our hearts and our minds? So please, tonight, don't dismiss the other reasons you're here, not just to hear a story of hope in which so many have invested so much of ourselves over time. There's also this ritual of it all, the longing to gather together with others for more than just gift giving or eating, to instead search for meaning and take part in something beautiful and familiar, to sing songs that have been sung by voices for generations, to light a candle against the darkness and see a room flickering with the faces of friends and companions on a long, common journey, and to know once again, at least for a moment, that you are not alone. These are the reasons that we gather. I mean, yes, a child was born. Isn't that wonderful? But so too were we born. So too are our lives significant, and there are marvels we have yet to do. So now tonight, we light a candle for all that is still hopeful in this world. It is a blessing, and one that we can only create together. May we always remember this is so. Amen.
Please rise as you're willing and able for carol number 4, Go Tell It on the Mountain. In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This was the first registration when Quirinius was governor of Syria, and all went out to be registered, to each to their own town. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, from the town of Nazareth to Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to give birth. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling cloths, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them at the inn. And in the same region there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were filled with great fear. And the angel said to them, "Fear not, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy that will be for all the people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find a baby wrapped in swaddling cloths and lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly hosts, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth, peace.
So before we conclude with the beautiful candle lighting ritual that we have, we are going to do a little bit of education and a little bit of forewarning so you know what's happening and how to do it well. Please first keep in mind if you have dangling clothes, dangling hair, dangling children, we want to be very careful. We do have water carefully staged around, but I've never in almost a quarter century had a fire ignite on this night, and I do not want tonight to be the first time. So we're going to do this. This is the time in the service where we're going to light the candle, and what's going to happen is Ember and I will, not yet, not yet. Ember is going to wait with you until we tell you. We're going to bring the candles around to light. Now, there is a way that I want to encourage you to light these candles. First of all, make sure as you hold your candle, it's a little above the rim and not tucked into the rim because this will make it difficult to light. So make sure your candle's like this, right? A little bit up above the rim. And then when the person whose candle is lit comes to you, they will approach you with their candle on an even keel, like a boat on the ocean, right? And the person who doesn't have a candle lit will turn sideways. Can you see? Sideways to light their candle, and then turn their candle up. This will protect you from hot wax and hopefully burns. So what we're going to do is we're going to, once the candles are lit and the lights are lowered, we're going to come and meet at the end of each row, and you will light your candle and pass it to your neighbor. Remember how? How do we do it? Should we just like lean it into? No, we're going to do light is like this, unlight is like this. While that's happening, you will also be doing other things that Les will describe to you because we have a very special closing song tonight. But after we sing together and all of our candles are lit, and the song is, we've done the a cappella part, we're going to hum and travel out of the sanctuary. This is the last part that I'm going to tell you about. You'll follow me and then the choir. And choir, I'm changing something a little bit, just a tiny bit, so this is new to you too. Ember and I are going to walk all the way down to the far end. The choir is going to follow us next. They're going to stop in the same place that we discussed. But you, the folks gathered, please come and walk down towards Ember and I, okay? Because we want to make it as easy as possible. You're welcome to use any of the doors. We'll try to open those out. And then when we're all out there together, I will yell at you the benediction because there's no microphone out there. And then afterwards, we'll blow out our candles together. There is a receptacle into which you can place your candles before you leave tonight. But I just wanted to give you a sense. Does everybody have a sense of what we're doing? Next, the sense is what Les will tell us about our singing.
Okay. Didn't mean to do that. So we're going to do, this is something we haven't done before. We're going to end up singing two songs at the same time. So this is how it works. The choir is going to sing 2 verses of Night of Silence. And then everybody will sing the first verse of Silent Night. I'll give you a little intro so you'll know when it's your time to sing Silent Night. Then when you are starting to sing the second verse of Silent Night along with the altos and the basses, the sopranos and tenors are just going to do something else. They're going to sing a different song. But then we'll all sing the third verse of Silent Night together a cappella. So do it right.
People, winter of life.
Walgreens is still open. I've got to go get stickers. Okay. You can ride along if you wish. If you need anything, last minute.
I mean, drugs there.
Yeah, what?
Drugs there.
The pharmacy store.